Hello lovelies, today we're talking how to wear your belts in 2026, full of ideas and really fun ways to start incorporating them into your wardrobe. Belts have been very trendy over the last couple of years and they show no signs of slowing down. But the best news is that even though they are trends, they are classic accessories that you will get your return on investment for year after year. There's something for everyone in this video, so I'm thrilled you're here. And don't forget to stay to the end of the video where I'll show you a very hands-on approach full of tactics on exactly how to choose your belt. They are your secret weapon to mastering style because they're a very turnkey way to help add shape, color, and texture to your outfit, which are key styling hacks that make your outfit interesting, chic, and super flattering so that you look and feel incredible. I'm Ziba, and I'm here to help you figure out what to wear and how to wear it. So make sure to hit the subscribe and notification button so you don't miss a video. First way to start wearing your belt is as the hero piece of your outfit. Whether that's thicker belts or statement buckles, these are a fantastic way to really elevate your entire look, especially if it's a very basic outfit. If you're a t-shirt and jeans kind of girl, this is the perfect styling accessory to consider because you can really transform and manipulate how your outfit looks just with the simple addition of a belt. It's also a fantastic way to balance an outfit when you have slouchy trousers and maybe an oversized top and you need something to give it a focal point. This statement belt is the perfect way to do that. For example, if you have a baggier pair of jeans or trousers and it never quite feels right, then adding a statement belt will probably transform your outfit so that you love wearing it and you'll find a lot of balance by adding just this simple accessory. Don't leave these hero pieces only for your most basic outfits. They are also a beautiful way to add that finishing touch, for example, to a monochrome look where you have a belt in the same color and then you have a really bold metallic centerpiece right in the center. There's a couple of belts that I really love for this. One of them is a suede belt by Sezane. It's got a very prevalent belt buckle that feels really present, but I would say this is very much a gateway statement belt because even though it is very present, it's still very classic and somewhat understated. The other belt that I was actually wearing with this outfit, but I took it off to show you, is this one by Leopard. I have a 20% off discount code in case you're interested. They really specialize in beautiful ornate belts that are the perfect belts if you have a very classic belt already. The next way to style your belts are with dresses. And I get really excited about this because there are so many possibilities when it comes to adding belts to your dresses, especially starting with like very low hanging fruit. When you have a dress that already comes with a fabric belt, the easiest way to elevate your outfit is by doing an easy swap and changing out the fabric belt for what I call a real belt, which is just a more classic looking leather belt and helps you look more expensive. Now, a situation that gives you even more flexibility is when you have a dress that doesn't have any belt loops already, it doesn't come with a belt, and you have a blank canvas to put the belt wherever you desire. This is when you can really manipulate the shape that you want and almost play with optical illusions. For example, if you're very short-waisted, you can choose to wear your belt lower on your hips to really elongate your torso and make you look taller and leaner. I have a couple of belts that do this really well. They're both by Ralph Lauren. One of them is their Equestrian belt that is a bestseller. If you're part of the community, then I know you've heard me talk about this before. You might even have it. I know it's been a big viewer favorite. And just like this and everything else that I'm talking about in this video, I will make it very easy for you to shop either here on the screen with YouTube shopping or in the description below or in a pinned comment. This is the belt right here. It does sit a little bit lower on the waist. The other belt by Ralph Lauren is this classic one, this more Western inspired, and we'll get to that in a minute. But this is the first Ralph Lauren belt that I ever got, and it really sits nice and low on the waist. The point is you can really manipulate the shape by bringing the belt a little bit lower and elongate your torso. Now, on the other hand, if you already have a longer torso and you want to bring it up a little bit, and you want to cinch your waist where it is or even cheat it a little bit and go a little bit higher because no one can tell where your belly button is. So as far as we're concerned, we won't be able to tell that you're cheating a little bit by bringing the belt up, and that can really help elongate your legs and shorten your torso. There's a couple of ways to cinch this around your waist and make it stay. So in the case of this belt, as I showed you earlier, like let's pretend that this is where I want it. Then we would be putting it here, right at the waist, and then bringing it through. And because we don't want this to happen, then we would just loop it through like this. Or you can get my favorite Amazon find probably ever, the Hermes inspired belt. I've had this belt probably for 4 years and I've worn it a lot. I've taken it on vacation. It still looks brand new. It's so nice, in fact, that I got it in 2 other colors, including like a dark brown and a black, just to like kind of prove to you that it's aged really well for being Amazon. What I love about this belt, and any kind of belt that you can get like this if you want to spend more money, is that you can actually cinch it right where you want it. You don't have to worry about any flapping. I think these are like 2 for $30 or maybe like 1 for $20 or something like that. But how it works is you can kind of put it wherever you want and just cinch it and then adjust. So it really just stays put, and it just looks so elegant. Look at that. And it's a really easy way to cinch up those dresses and even knits. So that's our next topic. You can use belts to cinch up those oversized knits. Statement sweaters, much like statement belts, are very trendy in 2026. And the reason you're seeing a lot of this statement boldness is because, number one, the 80s are very much the leading decade of this year. And hand in hand with that is that maximalism is back in. We're craving more color, more statements, less quiet, like super whispery, quiet luxury, and more personality. So that's why we're seeing kind of like bigger things. Great way to balance one of these very chunky knits, or even a ruana or cardigan, is by cinching it with one of these belts. A belt like this is a fantastic way to go about it because you don't have to worry about all the flapping. But I do that kind of like looping through a lot of the times when I don't have any place to put the rest of the belt. Related to cinching knits is cinching your coats and blazers. And we've seen a lot of this happen with brands selling belted blazers and jackets, but you can recreate this easily with your own belts and your own jackets. You don't have to go and buy a belted jacket. And actually, I think sometimes it works really well to kind of do it kind of like a DIY with that, because you can infuse more of your personality and you have more flexibility as well. But one of my favorite ways to kind of update that work outfit look and add a lot of femininity to a bolder suit is by cinching the waist. It's also very classic and Dior inspired. This Dior silhouette is iconic and one of the most recognizable silhouettes of any designer, I would say. Like Coco Chanel had a lot of drop waist, but Dior is just stamped in time by having that attention to detail of a cinched blazer and a cinched silhouette where the waist really shone. Very much about femininity. I love the way this looks. Even like replacing those fabric belts in your coats with a thicker belt is a really great way to go. If you want to take it to the next level, you can always do a corset belt, which I'll show you one of the ones that I have. This is by Pritch London, and they have them in a few different colors, but you can use something like this. You can go either like this way or you can go this way. You can use something like this to cinch your jacket. And I've seen a lot of my fashion peers do this. I usually wear this more with dresses and things like that, or knits. And come spring, when we're laying off of, hopefully, I'm like in the middle of a snowstorm here, we're hopefully leaning into lighter coats and trenches. These two look amazing with belts and so classic, very of the moment. And you have that it girl quality that like people can't put their finger on unless they're like constantly on Pinterest. Now let's talk about a trend that we've been hearing about a lot, but I don't see it a lot in practice, and that is belt stacking. I have talked about this a lot too. I'm super intrigued by it. And for me, it just hasn't been something that I think to do day to day. It's not even that like it hasn't worked out for me. I just don't think to do it. I think this looks particularly chic over blazers. Like if you're going to try that belted blazer look, I think it looks great just to add like another one. But if you love the way this looks, but you feel a little insecure about like not knowing which ones to belt, then you can choose a belt that already wraps around twice. I have this one by Saint Sophia that does wrap around twice. So you get that double belted feeling. You don't have to stress about like what it is that you're going to do with it. See, this is actually a great belt because it also has like a built-in loop here where you can like not have to worry about where the strap ends up. Like it's just a very clean. So you look at like putting something like this over a blazer is just a really great way to get that stacked belt look and not have to think too long and hard about like, how are you going to do it? Another really easy way to incorporate the stacking of the belt is by choosing different textures. And one of the easiest way to do it is by choosing a studded belt like this one. See, now we've got we're completely stacked. So it's very much about having fun, expressing yourself, creating. If you're a creative person, you don't have that outlet a lot of the times, belts are just a really great way to start getting into it. The other way that you could get into belt stacking is if you have belts that are too big and you don't know what to do with them. In the case that you have belts that are too big for you, you can actually connect them so that now they become one belt. So these now have been joined. You can use this situation to double belt it. So now you have an entirely new belt that you can keep wrapping around yourself. So now you have an entirely new belt that you can use and have the belt stacking look without. See, like you can put this here and now you've got a new belt that wouldn't fit you otherwise, but now it does because you've done your little marriage of the belts, if you will. And I'll put this double belt hack here on the side so that you can see it in slow motion, but really it just involves like looping and hooking one of the belts to the other strap, and then you can just take it from there. The other belts that are really in style are metallic belts in the world of the Y2K influence. These are also a great way to mix your belts, but also as a standalone, as a way to have a little bit of a festive pop, or just to have a belt that isn't too matchy-matchy with your leathers. I think it's a really great way to mix it up. The other really fun way to wear belts is to use a scarf as a belt. Scarves, much like belts, are a huge trend this year. I've seen a lot of smaller silk scarves around the neck. Of course, the triangle scarves are huge. So anything that's like a neck detail has been really in. But if you have a bigger, more versatile belt, it's super easy to create a belt from your scarf and also like save room in your suitcase. It's one of my favorite travel hacks when I'm only traveling with a carry-on and I don't want like a lot of really heavy, like tons of belts. It's a great way to waste your outfits without carrying a lot of hardware as well. One of the big trends last year was kind of do a triangle scarf and kind of do it around your waist. I'm still seeing this a lot on my feed. Let me know if you have as well. A very pretty look. I think it's also a great way to break up a very basic outfit and add interest to your look. In terms of the really fun aesthetic ways to wear your belts, we're seeing a lot of Western influence. So a lot of like the Ralph Lauren belt that I showed you earlier with kind of the big buckles. Also a belt like this one. This one's by Aureum. Madewell has really gorgeous metallic belts. And because the Western aesthetic has maintained itself as the styling of Western boots, then it's a great way to incorporate the trend a little bit. Like you can have a very non-Western outfit in a jeans and a t-shirt type of look and incorporate something like this, like for example, with the outfit that I'm wearing now, and just have it look a little bit different with more personality without feeling like a full-fledged cowgirl. The other trend that persists are the studded belts. Studs in general, including in shoes, are still very in style in 2026. I think they're a great way to almost feel like you're wearing jewelry in your belts. They're so pretty. They always dress everything up and they can be super fun. The brand that I was talking about, Linnea Pell, has a couple of gorgeous studded belts that are also really huge statements if you want to add a little bit more embellishment. As promised, let's talk about specific tactics that you can start using today to elevate your outfits using simple styling techniques. The easiest, most visual ones to master. It's quite simply when you add a third color to make your outfit look really cohesive, and it's a fantastic quick outfit when you kind of don't know what to wear. Some of my favorite color combinations are camel navy and white, burgundy gray and denim, navy red and white, burgundy, navy, and forest green, and so many more. In this example, let's say you have white pants, a black shirt, and you kind of don't know what to do next. And the easy thing to do is to grab a black belt. But this is where you can have a lot of fun and choose a different color and then match it to your shoes or your bag. I tried to not be too matchy-matchy and match it to my bag and to my shoes, but if that happens, it's not the end of the world. In this example, I would choose a brown belt, a brown bag, and then black shoes. So then the top and the shoes are very cohesive. It's kind of like a sandwich rule of sorts. And I'm incorporating the 3-color rule with the belt and the bag. In this example here, I'm also doing the same thing with belt and shoes as well, except I'm using a charcoal top, which goes beautifully with burgundy, and denim as well. Now, belts were made to add texture to your outfit. So this is just a really easy one. You don't have to think that hard because most belts have a very different texture than what we're wearing in the form of croc embossed, leathers, suede, studs. All the belts that I've been showing you here really contribute to this beautiful addition of texture that really helps elevate any outfit. We talk often about how important it is to mix textures, whether you're wearing a very silky skirt and you pop on a cashmere or a fishernet sweater, just to add a little friction between the top and the bottom. Same thing with a belt. If you're wearing even like a denim on denim outfit and you add that belt, just a very quick win for your outfits. So we've talked about color and texture. Next comes shape. So shape takes more practice, I would say, than the first two because you have to be just a little bit more strategic, but it is not hard. Easy styling rule of thumb is if you have a tight top, you want bigger bottoms, and if you have a tight bottom, then you want a looser top. That's great. But let's say that you have a voluminous top and a voluminous bottom. This is the perfect canvas to add a belt, cinch the waist, add a visual point so that you don't drown in your clothes. Just cinches everything together. This is really the secret to wearing baggy on baggy, is just adding that belt. And it's definitely easier to do. We covered this also in belting those blazers, jackets, and coats. Again, you're manipulating your shape and you're adding a little bit more structure and elevating your overall look, especially in the winter months when most of the time all that we can really see is your coat. And so yes, you can pay a lot of attention to the shape of your outfit and really do your diligence and put a beautiful outfit together. But then if you're just wearing a super bulky coat, then you're once again in more of a shapeless outfit. So in winter, creating shapes with your outerwear is also highly relevant. And then as a reminder, when you're wearing belts with dresses, again, you can really play around with the proportion of where you want your belt, and it tricks the eye. It's just a really easy win so that you can have a say as to how you actually want to present yourself. Let me know what you're excited to try. I also recently shared a few pieces that I've added to my closet and the strategy behind them. In case you're looking for outfit inspiration, I will see you there. And if you learned something today, make sure to hit the subscribe button.